Recording.
All right, and I guess you want me to let people in?
Yes.
I'm hitting continue. And Alyssa, can I test my screen share again?
Yes.
Real quick, 'cause this is a new thing. So
Hang on. Everybody hang on. Pause.
And okay, that's good. And I have, let me just move this a bit. I'd like to introduce you. We're not going to be watching this now, but there is a video that I like to share with people who are interested in origami, just to show you how high you can go with origami beyond, the fun of arts and crafts, because origami is deeply ingrained in art, science, industrial design. It has a lot of benefits beyond the fun that we have when we fold origami. So I will, I can give this link to Alyssa, and I hope that you will consider watching this very fun movie. So now on to origami. Oh, I also would just like to share a little bit about other benefits of origami. Like today, we're going to have a lot of fun making our wreath. But it benefits us in many ways. There is the physical benefits of actual motor skills, development in all ages, mental benefits, because it's basically something that helps our focus, helps our cognitive skills, visual skills. As you will see, it's linked with math, design thinking, problem solving, all good things. Emotional benefits as well. I really just enjoy. It's a calming activity. It's meditative, and it just helps, especially when I'm under stress. So, and the social aspect of it is part of one of my favorite things. It's fun to do with friends, with family. It builds togetherness, and overall, it's just a meaningful, fun activity to do. So for today, just wanted to show you what origami can be. So these are a few pictures of what I've done in the past. You could have individual models like this. I like putting them in collages or artwork, or you could have big collections, big groups of many models. Now, this was a community activity. Many people folded these, and we put them into ribbons, and they're now hanging as a window display there you go. Now, onto flowers, which is what we're going to do today. There are many different kinds of flowers you could do with origami. This is one type. And here's another. You could do what you could do. You can see in this picture, there are many different kinds of flowers, each one, fairly simple to fold. Today's model, we're going to start with the very simplest kind of flower to fold. But when you actually learn to make many different kinds and you can put them together in a wreath, I hope you can see how exciting and spectacular that looks. So now that we're all excited, I hope, here is what we will be doing today. I don't know why my camera, my software did not show the full picture, but pretty much these flowers, these are what's called modular origami, and it is done by folding individual units, which is two petals, and then we will basically glue them together. Now, I know that you probably have heard that origami does not use scissors or glue. Yes, that's true. But this is a type of origami that does that. And the proper Japanese term for that actually is kusadama. But pretty much it falls under the origami umbrella. So we'll just keep our life simple. And this is origami. So I hope that if anybody's ready to go on, now Alyssa had so kindly prepared kits for everyone. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just go through the materials you have so that and then the instructions that you have with your kit as well. And then we're going to go fold together. Is that good? So I am going to stop sharing this screen for now, and I will go on to another screen share. So if you could just, take out your materials and we will look through them together. Let me just switch this off. Can everybody see the screen? A thumbs up, please, just so I know. That was very helpful. Thank you, Sherry. In your kit, first of all, you will have received 6 origami paper. Now, the traditional size is 6 inches by 6 inches. So this is a 6-inch by 6-inch one. Some will have white on the other side and color on the other. There will be some paper that's colored, has the same color on both sides. There's some paper that's printed. There's some paper that's printed on both sides. So you will have a variety, but any square piece of paper can be folded in origami. So this means that if you had cut your own old wrapping paper, old computer paper, that would do, as long as it's not too thick. So origami paper is great if you get proper origami paper from the stores. It's of a certain weight. You see how thin it is, and it folds nicely. It takes creases. As you can see, when you fold it, the creases become very, very clear, and you can see. So this is the kind of paper that we'll need. And you have received cut up portions of it, because our flower is going to start out with half sheets. So this is the full-sized paper. It's cut in half. So these are the sheets we're going to start with. And then you also need a glue stick. Elisa provided us with glue dots, which we can, I find it messy to use on the petals themselves, but they can be used nicely with the leaves. It's useful to have some toothpicks or something, and but you don't really have to. I just like having this because it's a good applicator for glue in very fine portions. And
Everybody does have glue sticks and toothpicks.
oh, great, wonderful. And then I use these. These are hotel card keys. I find them very useful just for making creases nice and crisp. So you would have received a small plastic square, white one, and that's basically how you use it. When you make a fold, you're just going to sort of, I call it ironing the fold down, so it's nice and crisp and strong. So basically, that's what we're going to need for our flower. And let me get you started with the instructions on how to fold our individual petals. Now, each petal, just to show you, you would have had received, so I hope you're enjoying the sample of your flower, right? Let me grab one real quick here. Here is one that's already put together. And as you can see, it is made up of 3 of these things. I think you also have a sample of this unit. This is 1 unit. And the way it happens is when you fold it like this, that gives you these two petals. So basically your flower comes together, and we'll go through this really slowly, but I just want to show you real quick how the whole thing comes together. So basically out of our 3 units, this is what our flower, this is how we will get our flower. And then later on, the gluing and the tape will help you widen the petals so that you have a fuller petal. So everybody ready to move on to, I will talk through the instructions, and then after I talk through the entire instructions, we will fold together. So I will fold first and you can follow. But I'm hoping that these instructions you got and that you had a chance to look at them already, they're pretty straightforward. So this one, for example, is our half sheet, as you can see. Now, when you begin the fold, the first fold is fold it from, if you have paper that's white on one side and colored on the other, fold it starting by, if you want color on the outside of your flower, fold starting with the white side facing you. So when you fold it up like this, so that's what step 1 is, you will get the color on the outside. So step 2 basically is I've folded it up like that. And then step 2 is folding the top down roughly about 3/4 inch. So it's not, you can make it, it's your preference, really. You can fold larger, you can fold smaller. But for myself, because to make a lot of flowers, I've sort of tried to minimize and just use guides. I use my folding card to just, so that I'm not thinking about measuring anymore. I put a card down there at the bottom and then I fold it across. It's very useful. You could have a big ruler, put it down, fold it. But what happens is once you do that, you get a shape like this. So this is step 3. So, and then unfold it. Once you unfold this whole thing, right? And I like turning it horizontally. We get something like this. And the next step is making this shape. You fold both edges that have already been with a crease, fold both of them in. You have this. And then the next simple shape after that is, oh, I take it down. But as you can see, this one, you fold it, you will fold it in half upwards like this. So you get this shape. And you'll see it later when I fold. Basically, oh, here, something really simple. So this is our shape here. The next step is just to fold it upward like that. So that's what this step is. And unfold like that. And notice we already have a crease here. So that's going to be a good guideline so that we can make our next shape quite accurately. So the way I do this, and for purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to mark my origami. You don't have to, but sometimes if it helps you see the creases, do go ahead and mark them. So I am just going for myself so I can see the crease. You're not going to see it in your flower anyway, so you can mark. So this is my midline crease, and I create this shape. I call it the rooftop shape because these are, or arrow stage, because they just look like arrows. And what makes it easy for me is I take my guide card, I put it on the crease like that, and then I just fold down. That way, there's no danger of me over folding, because if we overfold, that does get in the way. So it's just a nice guide. So if you can use your guide, so it actually becomes a rather mindless automatic move. So this is how I do it. So that's how we have our shape. Then the next thing is, so we now have this, and it's a simple thing. You are just going to take the bottom, fold it to your midline. So that's what happens there. And then we have, and do the top as well. So this is how we get the unit, the simple unit. And then the very last step of making your unit is going to be this. We fold the bottom all the way up. And then it's nice to take our card right there and fold it. Actually, I forgot, it's not included here, but it's very simple. Just fold it in half. So now we have our first 2 petals. So I hope that these instructions are, pretty straightforward. So I'd like to invite you to pick 3 sheets of half papers, because we'll need 3 to build our flowers, and fold along with me. So I chose, is everybody ready? Do you have your 3 sheets of paper? So I'm just going to work with 2 because I've already pre-folded 1. I'm going to make a white flower I didn't have plain white origami paper, so I'm going to use a gray one, which is I have a lot of, and I'm just going to make the white side come out by putting it out this way. So the first step again is fold your half sheet in half like this. Is everybody good? Everybody got there? And then fold the top down. You can really just estimate how much you want to do it. It's up to you. Or you could use, I'm just going to go ahead and use my standard guide. If you notice, I am actually folding 2 sheets at the same time. It's doable. I do that to save myself extra work of folding, but now if you're learning, I would suggest let's do this 1 sheet at a time. But I went ahead and did a fold of 2 at a time. So now I have this. It's going to be a white petal like this one. So the next step is I unfold and fold the edges in. So if you notice this fold behaves a little bit differently from this one. So all you do is just reverse it. So reversing folds, that's an interesting thing to do in origami. If you encounter other videos or other origami instructions, reverse fold is going to be an instruction that's going to be common. So that's basically what it is. When a fold acts in one way, like look at this fold, it goes downwards. A reverse fold will just make it go the other way. So I am reversing it. So just make a note, that's an important origami skill, how to reverse folds. Is everybody okay with this step? Yeah, thank you, Sherry. Oh, great, thank you. So the next one, you pretty much, I just follow the instructions. So here's one, the next step there. Then I open up, make the rooftop fold, I like to call it. And to me, when I rotate it, this is just it's easy for me this way. You could do it any way you want. You could do it without a guide and just do things like that. It really is up to you how you're going to do this. So we have the rooftop fold. Then now I like thinking of this. It looks like a boat now. Looks like a boat, and then the top of the boat is folding in. And now we have this shape. We have this shape. So please proceed. And if you can have 3 ready, that would be great. Alyssa, I think at this point, maybe if anybody has like a pressing question on is encountering any troubles with the folding of the unit, I can take a question.
Okay. Questions, anybody? Want me to unmute you?
I hope this means that everybody's found it pretty simple and straightforward.
Oh, I think Sherry said you went too fast, but maybe she's catching up.
Okay. Does anybody want me to go through the process again a little bit more slowly this time? Because it's nice. We can
Yes,
we can
please.
make 6, and that way, this is great. We have the whole hour to put
Could you go through it again? Because our paper doesn't have white sides, so we can't really see the difference, and it's a little confusing
I see.
because we don't, you're flipping it over, and I'm kind of getting lost.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for that, Sherry. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find, let me grab paper that has color on both sides. It'll be a different color, but yeah. One. What part gets okay, I got it. So here you go. I'm going to pick this color. So I have 3 of these. And again, they're the same color on both sides. So the first step, so everybody can everybody see?
Yes.
Okay. Just give me a holler if I'm going too fast again. But first step number 1, and again, maybe I'll just put our instructions here so that we can reference it. I'll fold right on this paper. So I fold things in half. Right? And then the next step is this. I fold the top down roughly 3/4 of an inch. So you don't have, I'm not going to use this because you don't have this. So I'm just going to choose like, okay, it's still going to be this much that I fold. And I'm going to fold the top over that one. So it's roughly the same. So this is step 2. And actually, this is what we get. This is step 3. Then I'm going to unfold it. And basically, the way I rotate this is I'm just going to flip it on its side. And this is really just because I work this way. You could continue folding without rotating it, right? So here, what's going to happen is this fold already behaves the way it's supposed to because it already goes in that way. This fold is not. So this is where we are going to reverse this fold. So the way it happens is if you press it down and sort of flatten it again, see how it's not as strong as it was? You can easily, I use a guide here. So take your white piece of plastic and put it there so you could guide the paper up so that it folds. So this, think about the book dust jacket. This is the next step. It looks like the dust jacket of a book. Right, Alyssa? Is that correct? I just had that thought. It's like, oh, okay.
Yes, I appreciate the book reference.
So does everybody have this shape? So look at that. It's like a little book, actually. So there, you could actually write here, book step. It's like sometimes when I teach origami, I end up giving names to certain steps. It almost sounds like a Zumba class. But anyway, so this, is everybody okay with this? Thumbs up. You're good?
Yep, they're good, I think.
Yeah. Okay. And then after the book, we fold the book in half. Now we cannot do this to our library books, but this one we can. So flatten down this shape and then just fold the whole thing in half. For me, it just works bottom to the top. But if you're, it's just easier for me to see the corners when I'm folding bottom to top. But if you're folding top to bottom, and you're comfortable doing that, that's fine too. So basically we fold the book in half and then unfold as well. And then now again, just as a reference, especially if your paper is a darker color and the crease is harder to see, I would really suggest making a reference line just so you can see where your middle crease is. So again, at this point, the instructions are horizontal. So I'm just going to stick with the horizontal format. The reason I fold this way is just because I got used to it, but because our instructions are like this, let's do that. So I put a guideline there, and then I fold the roof shape down like that. So basically, it's really this, folding a corner to the midline. You don't have to exactly go all the way to the midline. See, I don't really need to use this card all the time. I can just do that and estimate and get my corner here onto as near to the midline. I like leaving a little space. Ooh, my camera is, I don't know why it's doing that, but I like, if you look at my thing, there's a little space in the middle just because it makes it easier to fold it. If your corners are on top of each other, are so close that there is no space, it might be a little hard to fold your, it'll get a little thick. So this is the next shape. And I call this what's a good shape to call this? It looks like an arrow. I mean, these look like arrowheads to me. So if anybody has a better name, oops, I did not align that very well. So see, working in any, whatever orientation, you can turn your paper around just so you're more comfortable making the fold. You don't have to make the folds, but basically what we want to do is go from shape to shape. So if the instructions say this shape, then we make that shape. And then if the instructions say this shape, then we make that shape. So after this, it's a simple thing of bringing the outer edges up to the midline. So we'll take that and do that. Do that. So here we have it. And this is our, if we fold it in half and fold it in half, close it like a book, I like to say that. So here is the basic petal form. Are we good? Any other questions at this point? So shall we move on to the next step so you can see your flowers soon? Oop. So does everybody have 3 at this point? Let me know. Okay, good, Teresa. Sherry, are you good? Oh. All right. This is being recorded, which is great. So at least you'll be able to go back. I realized, yeah, you don't have actual, it's harder to make printed instructions about this. So this is the part of the presentation where you're going to watch how I do it, and then we'll go again and put the whole thing together. So Sherry, I hope you're good with your 3 pieces. One of
She
the
says
things,
she's folding, but that you should continue.
okay, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. One of the things that's good to do is see how this, once you've folded this part, I'm going to mark again. It's great, Alyssa, that you're recording this so that people can just keep rewatching. This fold needs to stick to this fold here. And as if we can keep it to be as fine as possible, that's better, because we don't want this whole edge. We don't want a wide sticking area. We want only the folds to stick together. Now, one way of doing that is I take a toothpick and get my glue stick on it. And then I will just put the glue just there on the center, on sort of keep it as close to the crease, just on the crease, not around it. I hope that's clear. Everybody can see that. Because what's going to happen is when I fold this together, I want just this one as much as possible to stick. So when you fold it, it'll touch that glue. There. So it can be a kind of delicate process. So you can see that the sides are not really glued. It's really like the spine. So we're trying to keep the glue onto the spine. So it'll take a little bit of practice to just get it there. And don't, if you get glue on a wide, I'm just going to demonstrate. If it happens that the glue ends up on a wider area, like for example, you'd meant it to stay in the center, but it got spread. When you closed it, it spread to a wider. So if you look at this glue now, it's actually on a wider area. It goes out to here. It's not concentrated on the center. Let's do that, because I want to show you that that's still fine. It'll still work, but ideally, this is the kind of gluing we want to achieve, only the spines. Now, that takes practice. And that's just something that I hope you'll sort of develop the patience for and practice. But here's a hack that I discovered actually, and this was Alyssa, I think this was last night. And I'm just going to share it with you, because if the glue sticks drive you mad, you can use our good old friend, the stapler. And I'm just going to show it here. I know you hopefully you do have a stapler in the house somewhere. But what I do, because the stapler, when you staple it, as long as you are in the exact spot, you will have that clean. So this is the crease, right? If you mark your petal, it's okay. It won't be seen. So go ahead and mark the petal. But so this is for the stapler. If you have a stapler handy, this is what I do. I'm just going to practice. I had to practice this a lot, but I'm going to practice putting it exactly on that red line. I've sort of practiced over time, so I can really figure out how to get it as close as possible and staple it. So as you can see, I'm right there on the line. Again, it's a practice skill, but sometimes if I'm not, it doesn't really break. It doesn't really matter, because as long as we can glue things together like this, even if your petals are kind of, like, look at this petal's kind of misshapen. And because I did this with double-sided tape, it's kind of like stuck, not just on the spine. But the point is, even if some petals are not evenly shaped, once you put them together on the wreath, it doesn't matter. So even if our instructions will give you the sense that you have to be precise, if you're not precise, please don't worry because it will still happen. So even if our flowers have extra glue and are not really glued spine to spine, it'll still work. So I hope that's encouraging enough. So I showed you how to use the stapler. So ultimately you can do that. I'm just going to, because we have glue sticks and toothpicks. So I'm just going to continue in on that. The thing about the glue stick is we do have to wait for it to dry. So I'm going to put glue only on the crease. It doesn't have to be very much, but like a blob is nice because I find that sticks well. And it doesn't have to go through the entire crease. And then I'll refold it like that and fold it like that. If you have a paper clip, sometimes it's nice to have, oh, I didn't put a paper clip right
Everybody's got a paper clip.
here. Yeah, I'm the one who doesn't have a paper clip. I use paper clips or binder clips. So because we need to wait for this to dry, I just paper clip them like that and they'll dry. So what happens is for today, while we're waiting for this to dry, we can continue folding some more flowers. You can use the smaller paper if you'd like. Yeah, this one's kind of, the glue got all over the place now. It's okay, do not panic. It'll work out. So there. So I'm just gonna let this dry. And a good way to let things dry is you can take some more paper and fold some more petals. So you have, you know, a lot of petals to go to do. So if you make like 6 more petals, that'll be enough for this to dry. Does anybody want to fold another set of 3 with me? And then we'll go and put this one together. It's 12:46. We have 15 minutes. Or actually, I can go forward and demonstrate. Now, the thing is, your petals with a glue stick, they might not be dry yet. So you will end up probably just watching me first and then review this in the recording when your petal glue has dried and give it a try then. And then if there are any other problems that weren't clear during this presentation, we can take it up on, when is it? The 9th, right? How's that? Because
Yeah, on Wednesday.
yeah, there's no way that this is going to be dry enough for us to work with it for now. But so at this point, are there any questions in particular about this, applying the glue to the center of our petal form? Any questions about it? Okay. So anyway, if you have questions after, you can always put it in email as well so that we can discuss it on Wednesday, or I can re-demonstrate something on Wednesday. But I hope that was pretty clear from the video. So for now, and also let me just, you know, if gluing is harder and you think it takes too long, before I discovered the staple, I always glued things together. But now that I do, I kind of like using that for this step. I just put something there And then I have learned to position my stapler so that I know that the staple will land roughly. So see, those marks help me. I can see where the edge of my stapler is and I can adjust really fine. So there. So, and again, look at this. It's not exact. I'm kind of like, not straight, but it doesn't matter. It will work out fine anyway. So for purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to use stapled bits. Let me staple this one also so that, oh, actually I have to complete one more piece of, one more petal, because this one was used with glue. I have to wait for it to dry. Let me just go real quick. I'm going to make one more. While I'm making this, any questions, comments? I hope you're having fun.
Let me just say that I have a boatload of paper if anybody wants to come to the library to get more to practice.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be fun if you teach a friend, because that way you can get more flowers quicker, right? And then the really fun part will be assembling the wreath, which I would think it's a very intuitive process anyway. So maybe if you have a friend or family member, you could share this with them, and between the two of you, you can make, more flowers more quickly. So here is the unit. I've folded it and I will mark it because I'm going to use a stapler on this one. I wish I had discovered that sooner. I folded a lot of things and using just waiting for glue to dry. I'd spent a lot of time waiting for glue to dry. So you can use a mini stapler. Actually, it'll be easier to position it because there's more clearance. You can see your marks better. But I would encourage the stapler method. So now here we go. We have 3 pieces and they are spine, pretty much dry. This is equivalent to a dried glue on the spine only. I like to take, so this one, reference the video recording for this one. I like to take this and I open up the petal. I widen the petal by pressing down like that, and then pressing down up here. So you take the petal and see how it opens up. So same thing here. I'll just hold it by the spine like that, put my thumb in and press between these 2 fingers. Like I'm flattening that crease. And then when I push down a little bit up here also to make, you can see little triangles forming there. It opens up the petal. So now you have a wide open petal like that instead of a petal like this. So here, if you can, try it along with me. Press down there. Press up here. And it's open. Press down there. Press up here. You could do 2 hands if you want. You could do this, and then you can see how the paper actually moves itself. That's why it's so important for the spine to be dry, because if it's not, it'll just open up again. Now I'm going to test this for purposes of, let's see. I wonder if this is doable now. I'm taking a risk here, but this is the one that we just glued. If I hold it in the center like this to make sure that it doesn't just open up, I can actually do that a little bit. So I'm not forcing it, because if I go too close, or I could. So actually it could, but it's important to hold it fast here so the whole thing doesn't open up. So I'm gonna hold it here like this, where the center is, and I'm gonna do that. So I guess you could, even when the glue's not all that dry, and then fold it back like that. There. But anyway, let's leave the glue to, leaving the glue to dry. But once you've opened up the petals like this, you can take, let's try the glue dots we have. I personally prefer double-edged tape. And I think, Alyssa, you had mentioned in the instructions that double-edged tape will do. But we have glue dots. Now, just so you know, if you have only a glue stick, there is a way to apply. So, sorry, let me just stick to the glue dots for now because that's what we have. I'm just going to see, the thing with glue dots is they're huge and they really stick to everything. But this area here, once you've sort of opened up your petal, you notice that when you fold down the top, a triangle shape forms. See, I'm going to mark it. If you can see the folds, that is a triangle shape. I'm just going to mark it so you can see. So put your glue dot like about there in the center and try to make it spread in a triangular form, if that's possible. So I'm just spreading it as far back as it will go. And then stick the two things together. And see, you have a nice petal shape. So this, if this is the flower, you want this shape. See how it's stuck over here. These two sides stick together. So there. So again, here, I see, I'm going to open it up and I see the faint triangular because I didn't press down so much. See, when you press down, it makes a little triangle there. It makes a little triangle here. If you actually press it down a lot more, you will see that shape. There's the crease. And again, I'm going to, so you don't even have to press down so much. You can just understand that this triangular area here near the spine is going to be where you want your glue to be. So either you can use a glue stick to put glue there and wait for a longer drying time, or we could use the glue dots that we have. And now it's all stuck in one. It's not going to spread now. I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to take the glue dot and I wonder how this is going to work. So this is going to be an each to her own kind of thing to do. How to get the glue dot in the middle of the thing. I'm going to put my spine right in the middle of the glue dot. Put it there so that I know the glue dot is there. And then I'm going to peel this off. Is it peeling off? Hello. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there you go. It did. It's kind of, and then I'm going to press in half. So that way I get these sides done. And here's another, you know, I'm just going to keep demonstrating. I press it down. I find that little, see, the creases aren't very clear, but for our purposes, we can just decide that this is where the glue is going to be, that area. And you notice we want more glue on the top rather than on the bottom. It just helps the flower keep its shape. So glue dot, I'm going to try another way. Maybe I'll get the, oh, you know what? Sorry, Alyssa, I'm not a fan of glue dots, but they have the, they'll be good. This will be really good for the leaves.
Right. I think you used glue sticks for this part last week.
Yeah, the sticks are good. So I'm going to show you what I do with the sticks. I get glue on my little toothpick. I mean, you could just take the stick and put the glue on, but there's more control here because we want that triangular shape. So I'm spreading it on there. And it's just that the glue dots give you an instant dry, an instant stick. The glue stick, you'll have to wait. So, you know, for purposes of demonstration, it's not really ideal, but you know, so here you go. So see there, they stuck anyway. So what I'm gonna do is, because I know this will pull apart if I work with it now, I'm just gonna take a paper clip. Ideally, a smaller paper clip will do, but I'm just gonna clip that thing together. That way I know when I glue the rest of it, it's not going to pull apart while the glue stick's drying. So now it's on to the next step. Oh, I have to be mindful of the time. It's about 1 o'clock, but you can see where we're headed already. So it's going to be gluing these things together just about the same way we glued the original 2 sides of the petal. So you are going to be gluing in that triangular area. See here, there's a crease here. So there's another, this is where on the other side of your petal, that's where your glue is going to go. So for now, you can use the glue stick and wait for it to dry. But for now, because I'm doing a demo and I really want an instant stick so you can see how the flower is going, I'm just going to have to learn to work better with my glue dots. And I think this is one way. I'm cutting it out of the roll. Things you discover as you go along. So I'm actually learning a lot of things right now along with everyone. Where was that thing? Oh, I was gluing this one, right? So I took the glue dot out. I'm just going to put that glue dot here and peel it off. Hopefully it peels off nicely. Yep, did better. Oh, there you go. It's a good way to handle a glue dot. Then I take the next unit. I look for the equivalent part. So here, so you want it to stick like this. So if this unit has its triangular thing, right? Because this is the other side of the petal. There, see that there's the fold, the original crease. Yeah. You want this one, these two, to stick together like that. So the glue, and then when you have it here, all you need to do is put a glue dot here. So I'm just gonna do the glue dots because they're fast. You can use the glue stick, of course, but then you wait. But then that's fine because while you wait, you're just going to make more origami petals. This is the discovery of my afternoon, how to use glue dots without them getting all over the place. So here's the glue dot, goes on there. There, and then I sort of like that's nice. It actually covers this. I'm working with staples here. So here is the next piece. I'll simply do that, attach the two together like that, and then gently try to put everything in a pile that matches like that. Ooh, these glue dots are strong. So as you can see, I could work with this even if I had a paper clip in between. So if you're using glue sticks, you'll just put all your paper clips in. I can show you a picture of what that would look like in the next presentation. For now, I'm finding out that, yeah, we can work with these glue dots. Look at them. They're nice. And then finally, glue dot here, and then we're going to glue it to this one, the original. We put the 3 already. See how nicely they stick together. So basically what's going to happen now is you're just going to glue the whole thing like that. So basically glue dot right here in the center. So there's that thing, glue dot right there. And if you're working with a glue, you want to pin it, you could actually put a toothpick here in the middle if you want to stick it into your wreath form. I would advise that for now. Or we could also not do this and just use glue dots. But for the interest of time, I'm just going to put that last glue dot in. But I hope that you've seen how this flower comes together already. And please leave your questions in the comments and I can answer them during, I can answer them in a few minutes. And then if Alyssa doesn't mind, she can email you responses if that works. Because I'm just excited for you to be able to do. So here, I was rather clumsy with that glue stick, but it's fine. It's gonna go on. So there you go. So you can just take these two and close them together like a book. There. And then you can start shaping the center of the flower. There you go. I have a little multicolored flower here. But that's how it looks at this point. And if this is a little too long, you can always cut it to whatever length you need. And as a final touch, you could put buttons, jewels, pom-poms, whatever you want in here to make it fun. So here you go. Here's our flower for the afternoon. And I hope that in the next day or so, just keep practicing. The folds would become easy for you once you practice. And when you get a lot, like if you make 9 or 12 of these petals, practice putting it together and it'll just get easier, because that's how it happened for me as well. And we all know that origami does not require being exact in the beginning, but if you practice it, the exactness grows, the accuracy of the folds of the gluing, it grows. So I hope that you're liking what you're seeing. It'd be lovely if you could show me what you have before we call it a day. And then if there's any other questions as well. Oh, just as another note, for those who are comfortable with glue guns, I usually like using a glue gun and then I seal this. I put a big blob of glue right here, hot glue, so that I'm sure that it's not going to fall apart. That just makes the flower a lot more sturdy, and it takes a lot of abuse because it's not going to fall apart. So there we go. Next session, we can talk about variations of petals, because guess what? You could fold flowers with a color showing through in the middle like this one. You could create different petal shapes by folding the petals that you already have. So there's a whole bunch of things that we can do. But and of course, the most time intensive thing is really learning how to do the flower. And that's what today is all about. All right. Questions before?
It doesn't look like there are any, but if you guys have questions, of course, email me. If you need more materials, let me know. Practice your flowers, and I guess we'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'll see you on Wednesday for Leaves of the Wreath.
That was fun. Okay, see you guys Wednesday.
Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.